In the headlines to the CBC NewsNight, a new initiative launched to promote Barbados ahead of the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup. Experts meeting in Barbados to discuss enhanced security for the upcoming cricket tournament. The Child Protection Bill reintroduced in the House of Assembly with some changes. And in sports, no seats left at Kensington Oval for the World Cup final.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, this is the CBC NewsNight. With the details, I'm Wendy Burke. The ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup is just a few weeks away, and Barbados has taken a major step to promote the island during the upcoming tournament. The local organizing committee has designated June 28th as National Flag Day. CBC's Anmar Goodridge-Boyce has more.
On the eve of the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Barbadians are being asked to dress in their national colors and wave the Barbados flag for this momentous occasion. It is all aimed at showing national pride and celebrating the island.
We want every Barbadian from every walk of life to come with your flag, put out your flag, put your flag on your house, on your car, wear it on your chest. During this period, show your pride and patriotism for Barbados on this day, because the whole world, the eyes of the world are going to be on us. The journalists are going to be here. Imagine a day when everything in this country becomes blue and gold on that day.
The local organizing committee has also launched a new campaign called Greatness, utilizing Barbadian cricket legends such as the Right Honourable Sir Garfield Sobers and Joe Garner to promote the sport during the World Cup.
This World Cup is about greatness. That's the sub-theme that is now being projected as the main theme of this event. Barbados has produced greatness all along, and this campaign really celebrates Barbados. It is a testimony to the pride, to the identity, to the culture, all of the accomplishments of all of our great people, with cricket as the platform. Cricket as the platform for propelling us on to greatness.
Chairman of Cricket Legends of Barbados, Joe Garner, says he hopes the campaign will motivate young Barbadians to strive for cricket excellence.
We have a lot of Barbadians who've been doing really well around the world, whether it be a sport, education, the arts, whatever. Noel alluded to it before. And these are inspiration to the young people coming along. What we really look forward to is not only them doing well, but encouraging and being a role model for others to want to follow and be part of.
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup is set to begin on June 1st and run until June 29th. Anmar Goodridge-Boyce, CBC News.
And as the official start date draws near, several technical experts are meeting on island to enhance security coordination for the tournament. A 4-day session funded by the Canadian government and attended by representatives of regional police forces, CARICOM impacts and other international agencies got underway this morning at the National Council on Substance Abuse. Head of operations for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, KJ Singh, says there's a commitment to ensuring the respective games come off safely and drug-free.
We at the CWI take this matter serious with safety and anti-corruption and anti-doping very seriously. And it is handed out from a regional mandate from the ICC. And I would like to assure you that from our perspective, we don't take it lightly. The ICC doesn't take it lightly. And we are looking forward to keeping this event in the Caribbean as safe and as drug-free, with no anti-corruption, based on the mechanisms that we are going to put in place.
And Canada's High Commissioner to Barbados, Ambassador Lillian Chatterjee, says her government readily supports the meeting.
High visibility events also mean higher security risks. Coordinated security efforts are a must to protect against all kinds of threats. Ensuring security for all will be a major undertaking for the 7 World Cup co-hosting OAS member states. We require effective cooperation and integrated policies among co-hosting countries. Major sporting events offer great opportunities for host countries to review and revise their safety and security policies and to benefit from cooperation networks at the national, regional, and international levels.
In other Cricket World Cup news, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, has also activated its response mechanisms for the event. Executive Director Dr. Joy St. John tells CBC News they are fully engaged with the host countries.
We have been giving them a package of services which include food safety training, training for the hospitality sector so that they can ensure that there is proper management of any illnesses that occur in the hospitality tourism sector. We have been doing water quality training in collaboration with PAHO. We did assessment, evaluation of the risk, a risk analysis. It's done by each country, and it also takes into account which teams could come to the country, and a risk analysis is done based on the disease profile in the visiting teams.
In news from Parliament, a secure treatment facility is to be established for troubled children in Barbados. This was revealed by Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs. He was leading off debate on a resolution on the report of the Joint Select Committee on Social Sector and the Environment on the Child Protection Bill. Kirk Humphrey says with the charge of wandering struck from the law books, there needs to be a facility for children who run away from home. He notes oftentimes they are running away from something.
The bill contemplates a secure treatment facility, sir, in some cases, sir, where those children who probably would have fallen under the old offense of wandering, sir, would now be treated too, sir, as people who need children who need care and attention, sir. The Child Care Board, during the course of this year's estimates at the end of the exercise, the government allocated a significant sum of resources to begin the process of renovations or the purchase of a building or something, sir, to create that facility.
Mr. Humphrey says the facility will also accommodate children under 12 who run afoul of the law and who are not contemplated under the current rules. He notes the bill stipulates a child can be in residential treatment for no more than 3 years, which was the previous starting point. The minister adds, despite concerns raised, the bill does not address gender orientation or sexual orientation, nor does it ban corporal punishment.
We encourage parents, sir, to utilize a little mercy. Talk to the child. Just as this bill goes through a number of things before we go to those more intrusive interventions, work with your child. Teachers over time, sir, have learned new tools, new skills, sir. The teachers that I remember, the ones that you remember, the ones that most remember, the ones that I'm sure the chairman of the Child Care Board is remembered as a teacher, sir. The ones that remember us don't remember the way they beat, well, they may. The ones that beat us to a pulp, they may remember them in anger. But the ones they remember softly and tenderly with love are the ones, sir, that got down to their level. Try to explain certain things to them, sir, and to work with the children.
And in its contribution to the opposition, in its contribution, the opposition Democratic Labour Party has commended the government for taking on board some of its suggestions in the amendments to the Child Protection Bill. Opposition leader Ralph Thorne says they support any bill which seeks to protect children and not punish them. But he's called on the Attorney General to pay close attention to the Sexual Offences Act.
I asked the Attorney General of this country, and I'm not afraid to do it again, and I will do it again today. I am asking the Attorney General of this country to pay some attention to the Sexual Offences Act, and so that my colleagues understand how serious I am about this. I am saying this to a speaker who knows full well the content. It has to be done. I am not asked. This is no personal attack on the Attorney General. I don't wish the Attorney General to take any personal offense.
Some good news about the manufacturing sector. Efforts are being made to revitalize the furniture industry, but with a sustainable twist. That's the word from Chief Executive Officer of Export Barbados, Mark Hill. Orianne Phillips chatted with him and filed this report.
If all goes according to plan, Barbadians at some point could be enjoying locally made furniture featuring coconuts. Here's what Chief Executive Officer of Export Barbados, Mark Hill, had to say on the matter.
We're using coconut lumber. There are elderly folks who have a coconut tree that is being a house bug, they have a concern, they feel it may fall in the house. They call, we cut down the tree, plant 2 trees in its place, and then we mill it down to lumber. And the reality is that we now got new furniture designs that are being made, and recently we submitted some of our coconut lumber furniture designs to a show in New York, and we were shortlisted and asked to come and showcase. So we're right now working to showcase those new furniture designs, sustainable furniture designs in New York. This is one of the biggest furniture design shows.
Following that overseas event, there are plans for furniture manufacturing training to be rolled out locally.
We have a furniture cluster that's coming on stream shortly, so we're working towards that. And we also have looking at the grasses, so the persons like Erika Jelani that normally makes baskets, but what we're now saying is, like, from a sustainable furniture perspective, how can we use this to make lampshades and bed heads, and using grasses now, not just for baskets, but bar stools and stuff like that has that sustainability, recyclability component to it.
Officials also have plans to advance the coconut industry, particularly at Newton.
We're taking the coconut waste, we'll be milling it down, we'll be feeding it into a biodigester. So we are 80% through in terms of the construction of that biodigester overseas. So it is pretty much finished. Then it's being implemented alongside the tensile structure, and that will be feeding in front of the grid. That will be feeding and providing the cooling using the coconut waste. So a full circular economy. So the tensile structure is actually a circle, reflecting the whole commitment by Barbados to the circular economy.
Local furniture manufacturing was a flourishing sector for many decades, with several pieces prominently featured in homes, businesses, and retail stores. However, in recent times, imported furniture has gained prominence. Brianne Phillips, CBC News.
Coming up, exercise trade winds training changes focus. Overfishing remains a major concern across Barbados and the region. In an effort to combat this issue, Exercise Trade Winds 2024 has added a new component to encompass this significant area. Members of the media were invited to the Barbados Coast Guard Pelican ship to observe various aspects of maritime training. Rachel Agard has that story.
The newest addition to the maritime track, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing activities, the IUUF, means more than overfishing in the Caribbean waters. It also addresses a bigger threat of human trafficking and narcotics smuggling. Barbados's lead planner for Exercise Trade Winds 2024 maritime track, Sub-Lieutenant Sasha Marshall, says this year the maritime track training focused on 6 components, most of all the IUUF.
Long-term, IUU fishing can have devastating socio-economic impacts on the countries affected. Having recognized the importance of combating IUU fishing, the planners thought it necessary to give this track its own component for the first time during these trade winds.
Lead U.S. Maritime Law Enforcement Planner, Commander Anita Williams, says the Coast Guard's role as guardians in the maritime realm has never been more critical.
As members of the Coast Guard of all Caribbean nations, we stand at the forefront of maritime security, entrusted with a solemn duty to protect life, property, and the marine environment.
During a maritime simulation, a 47-foot longliner was intercepted by regional Coast Guard officers. A search was conducted and netted a quantity of illegal narcotics, sea turtles, shark fins, cash, and a firearm. On board was a captain, 2 crew members, and 1 person who was suspected of being trafficked. Meanwhile, Chief Fisheries Officer Dr. Shelley-Ann Cox says the Fisheries Division has been using platforms showing boats from different countries in Barbados' waters contributing to illegal fishing.
With the longline fishery, the targeted species, sometimes there is bycatch, and things like shark finning in the future will be prohibited. We also have a list of prohibited species that will be coming on board, including the ocean white-tip shark, as well as the big-eye treasure.
Dr. Cox says the training at the maritime track is important, but more will have to be done. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
A 37-year-old man lost his life during a shooting just outside of his Christchurch home last night. He is Omar Laron Haynes of Green Hill Drive, Silver Hill. Police say the incident was reported around 9:15. Haynes was outside his residence when a series of explosions were heard. He was subsequently discovered lying on the ground with several injuries on his body. Haynes was transported by private car to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for medical treatment, but was pronounced dead on arrival. Police investigations are ongoing. The Barbados Employers Confederation is urgently calling for a review and changes to the Minimum Wage Act and the Minimum Wage Order. Executive Director Sheena Mears-Granville says any increase in the minimum wage must be based on the cost of living and the level of productivity in the workforce. She made the comments during a press conference to announce the BEC's week of activities.
As we hear the call for a review of the minimum wage, we recognize the importance of labor statistics and data to inform the deliberations and the final outcome of minimum wage discussions. We would wish to highlight that for numerous years, the BEC has advocated that the Minimum Wage Board needs to be engaged in continuous review to allow for incremental changes to the minimum wage as opposed to large leaps after a number of years.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Sports time now with Damien Best. Damien, what's new in the world of sports today?
Well, it's all about cricket. Good evening to you, Wendy. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Well, the venue for the upcoming ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup is ready for action with 18 days to go until the start of the tournament. CBC's Margaret Boyce visited Kensington Oval today.
We're less than a month away until the start of the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup. 10 venues across the USA and the Caribbean, with the final set for right here in Barbados at Kensington Oval. And officials are saying that the Oval is ready for the first ball to be bowled on June 2nd. The highly anticipated World Cup will start in the USA on June 1st, with USA taking on Canada, while matches in Barbados will begin the following day. And chairman of the local organizing committee, Ambassador Noah Lynch, says Kensington Oval is fully prepared to host all 9 matches, including the final.
Outfield is the best it has looked, in my opinion, in about 15 years. The pitch is ready. The stands have all been refurbished, cleaned up. All of the bathrooms and all the other common areas around Kensington have been spruced up. There's a huge, if you go in there and look at it, temporary stand facility there. And then there's your hospitality facility. Kensington has been wrapped up to hold 18,000 people. It can hold, we believe, with a push and a shove, it may get another 1,000. But it is an 18,000 seat facility that's ready to host cricket. The longest cricket beach in the world, in any stadium is there. Everything is ready.
Lynch also revealed that all tickets for the final at the physical box office outside of Kensington Oval are sold out, with the venue's capacity being increased by 7,000 seats.
There's some that were being kept back because of ICC sponsorship and whatever. But the ones that come to Barbados that were available, gone. England versus Australia on June the 8th, gone. Barbadians have bought tickets for the World Cup from the manual box office, and another 4,000 or so bought online, Bajans, for the World Cup. So we got people in there.
West Indies, who are two-time winners of the World Cup, are set to open their campaign on June 2nd against Papua New Guinea at the Providence Stadium in Guyana. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, Raymond Kelman Togetherness are the champions of the 2024 St. Joseph T20 Blast after beating Kolkata Masters by 78 runs in the final at the Grantley Adams Memorial School Ground over the weekend. Once again, Anmar Goodrich Boyce, that is, reports.
Massive crowd for the finals of the T20 Blast. Togetherness winning the toss and batting first were off to a miserable start. Calvin Patterson is bowled by R.J. Gittins for a duck, 16 for 1. That wicket brought promising Barbadian sensation Rivaldo Clark to the crease, and he too was in and out, completely missing a straight delivery from Freddie Herbert, and the nightmare beginning for Togetherness continued. However, Cody Phillips started to steady the ship, whipping this one down to the boundary for 4, bringing the crowd to its feet. Herbert again to Phillips. This one outside the off stump is cut away, and the fielder chasing in vain for more. But Herbert got the breakthrough his team so desired. Raymond Kelman swinging across the line and smacked on the pad. The finger goes up, LBW. The batsman stops and stares in disbelief, but the umpire's decision is final. The score now 35 for 3. The new batsman was Rayshawn Williams, and he too didn't last long. Huge appeals for LBW and is given. This swing currency is pumped up as Williams goes without scoring. Togetherness in big trouble, looking divided at this stage. While the wickets were tumbling around him, Phillips maintained his composure, striking this one supremely through the offside and to the fence. Phillips was definitely in a no-nonsense mode, dispatching this delivery down to the low-on boundary for 4. The score is 65 for 4. This must have been the shot of the night. Phillips down on one knee to Barrow. The slogan for the upcoming ICC Men's T20 World Cup. That shot is out of this world, going for 6. Phillips brought up his half-century with this shot, down the ground for 4 more. After reaching the milestone, Phillips started to accelerate. This is huge, maximum. But Phillips' innings came to an end on this delivery. Ball with the score 130 for 5. He goes for 64. But Austin was putting on a clinic and giving the cricket fans in the East a treat, picking his spot in the parking lot, a super maximum, 6 runs. Ryan Nurse was the next batsman in, and he too was a victim of LBW, given out. A few deliveries later, he then brought up his 50 in grand style, and that was also 200 up for Togetherness. What a turnaround. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end, and Austin was bowled with the final ball of the innings for 68 as Togetherness ended on 201 for 7. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
In tonight's Business Report, photography is a saturated market in Barbados. The observation has come from lensman and owner-manager of ST Photo, Stefan Marshall. One of the new members of the market, he talks about the energy he has for the business in tonight's Yes Business Report. Trevor Thorpe has the story.
Putting your personality into your business is what gives ST Photo the edge in the marketplace. This, according to owner and manager Stefan Marshall. He tells the Yes Business Report the ups and downs of the COVID-19 pandemic created some challenges, but he is in it for the long haul. He says ST Photo gives the personal touch.
Photography in Barbados is a very saturated market. However, I do believe that if you can insert a little bit of your personality within your business, that can be a very successful differentiator. So for example, one of the tactics that I would have used to put myself out there would have been creating fun videos on TikTok showing off my personality, that you're not just getting a photographer, you're getting an experience, you're getting to have fun, you're getting to actually experience the overall feeling of enjoyment during a shoot. It's not just going to be standing up and posing. We're going to be listening to music. We might film a funny video or something like that and just overall just enjoy ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the photos, it's about the overall experience.
The young entrepreneur says every picture tells a story.
Well, personally, I prefer to shoot a lot of creative concepts and stuff like that. So when I would have first gotten into photography, what would have really gotten the ball rolling for me and given me a lot of opportunities was doing different themed concepts. So for example, one of my major shoots from, let's say, pre-COVID around 2021 would have been a Black History Month shoot that would have actually been featured in a London magazine. And then there were other opportunities that came up from different creative shoots that I would have done. I would have touched on themes such as, like I said, Black history, our culture as Barbadians, and so many different things, because at the end of the day, all of these are different stories, and I believe that photography is just another medium in the art of storytelling.
Marshall says the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme has given him the skills and courage to prepare for the road ahead.
I'm extremely happy with the way that my business has gone since associating myself with the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme. So I remember at one point I was running around like a headless chicken, but then I signed up and then I learned so much, and then things just started to fall into place, and I got so much more of an understanding, because I was never a business student. I was more of a geography student and stuff like that. So then it was a complete shift when I was actually going into business, and then the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme gave me the resources I needed to actually become successful.
With eyes set on the overseas market, the young photographer is putting in the effort.
In terms of overseas work, basically from last year I would have had the opportunity to travel to St. Lucia to document some stuff over there, which was absolutely fun. It was absolutely amazing. And going forward, I'm looking to approach overseas markets more. So for example, I do have the opportunity to travel this year, and I believe it's going to be to Europe and doing some work over there, so that'll be fun. And overall, it'll be just another huge step in the process of growing my business.
Portraiture and event photography are the features of the industry getting the attention of ST Photo. Trevor Thorpe for the Yes Business Report.
In other business news, artificial intelligence is coming for your email and photos. Google shared details about how its newest AI model, called Gemini 1.5 Pro, will work with those services. Gmail users will be able to ask AI to do things like compile all recent emails from your child's school. Or you might want to ask it to summarize key points from a series of attachments. It will also be able to scan your photos, answering questions like when your daughter learned to swim or what your license plate number is. Google executives also demonstrated how AI can scan a textbook, then turn it into a voice lecture, with virtual teachers who can answer questions about the material. Welcome back, Damien. What do you have for us in this sports segment?
Yeah, thanks so much, Wendy. Well, it was as lopsided as they come when Queen's College visited Graydon Sealy as the 2024 National Sports Council Under-15 basketball competition began yesterday. The boys from Husbands ruled from start to finish, winning 90-6.
Get back.
Queen's College in the white and blue battling host Graydon Sealy. Chance for a fast break, couple bites at the cherry, and it finally drops in. It was a lopsided contest with 4 QC players recording double figures. As they say, good defense leads to better offense. Steele and lays it up and in, plus the foul. Even after the missed free throw, QC had another chance to add to the tally. Reese Cozier with the putback. Not much production for Graydon Sealy in the first half. They trailed 14-13 and 44-4 in the second quarter. One of 2 free throws here nailed by Angela Morris. The boys from Husbands, they were running away with the contest. Kimani Maynard under the hoop. One of 3 players to score 16 points. Switch of ends for the second half. Garnett Abbott collects and takes a direct path to the cup. He also had 16 points.
The long and short of this story, Queen's College crushing Graydon Sealy by a whopping 84 points, securing the 90-6 victory.
Thanks for viewing. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.